The night was drenched in rain, every drop slicing through the darkness like a warning. On the side of the road, a mother clutched her baby, shivering, stranded and desperate, unaware that a stranger was about to stop, changing everything in ways she couldn't even imagine. Before we get into this story, we want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop in the comments. It's amazing to see how far our tales of hope reach. Ethan grips the steering wheel. Rain slices across the windshield like tiny knives. Every wiper swipe is a fight against the blur. His eyes are hollow. Divorce carve him out from the inside. Empty apartment. Empty bed. Empty nights. The tires hiss over puddles. Headlights illuminate nothing but endless dark. The storm seems to mock him, relentless. The rain drums on the roof of the car, a steady reminder. You've lost everything you thought mattered. His hands tighten. He doesn't know where he's going. Just away. Anywhere. A flash of lightning lights the road ahead. Something moves on the shoulder. A figure crouched low. Rain streaming off her hair. A tiny shape clinging to her chest. Another flash. Blonde hair plastered to pale cheeks. A baby, barely bigger than her fists. The woman's arms tremble, holding her child like a lifeline. Ethan's foot hesitates over the accelerator. Guilt and instinct clash in his chest. Drive past or stop. The rain pounds harder, as if the sky itself is shouting. Do something. He exhales slowly, deeply, hands still white on the wheel. The storm presses in from all sides. And then he makes a decision. Ethan eases the car to a stop. The tires hiss through puddles. The engine ticks as the rain beats on the hood. The woman looks up, eyes wide, terrified. Her baby curls tighter against her chest. Neither speaks. The storm fills the silence. A blinding flash slices across the sky, illuminating the shoulder. Ethan's heart jumps. A figure crouched there. A baby pressed to her chest. Rain plastered her blonde hair to her face. Her small car sits half off the road, hazard lights blinking faintly through the downpour. The tires of his car hiss on the wet asphalt as he slows. Another flash. Ethan sees the fear in her eyes. A flicker of recognition. Someone stranded, desperate, alone. He swallows hard. Instinct claws at him. His foot hesitates above the brake. Part of him says, keep driving. It's not your problem. But another voice whispers, she's human. She's scared. She has a baby. He drives past. 20 feet. 30. The rain pounds louder, relentless. Thunder rattles the car. It feels like the world itself is pleading with him. He slams the brakes. Reverses slowly, tires skidding on wet pavement. The woman glances up, startled. Her eyes wide, wary but grateful. Ethan cuts the engine. The downpour beats on the roof, drumming a frantic rhythm. He steps out, water soaking his jacket in an instant. The wind pushes at him like it's testing his resolve. Hey! He shouts over the storm, voice strained but gentle. Do you need help? The woman blinks through the rain, baby clutched to her chest. Her lips move, but no words come. Only the shiver of fear runs through her body. Ethan takes a careful step closer. Every instinct tells him to speak softly, move slowly. Come on, I can give you a ride. Anywhere safe. Her hands tighten around the baby. Her shoulders shake, not just from cold, but from everything she's been running from. Finally, she nods. For a moment, neither moves. The storm rages, relentless. Then Ethan kneels slightly, lowering his height. Okay, let's get you somewhere dry. She hands the baby to him carefully, almost like passing off a precious life. Ethan feels a tiny weight against his chest. Warm, fragile, terrified. And in that instant, the storm outside isn't just a storm. It's the moment everything changes. Maya climbs into the passenger seat, water dripping from her blonde hair. She hugs Lily close, the baby's tiny body pressing into her chest like a lifeline. Ethan glances at her, his hand still gripping the steering wheel. Are you all right? He asks softly. She doesn't answer, just trembles, her eyes darting to the rearview mirror, then the window, scanning the dark road as if expecting someone to peer out of the storm. Lily whimpers softly. Maya rocks her gently, whispering words only she can hear. Ethan doesn't try to fill the silence. He just waits, letting the car's engine hum against the relentless rain. Minutes pass. The storm outside rumbles like a heartbeat. Ethan glances at her again, seeing the fear and exhaustion etched on her face. "You don't have to tell me anything," he says quietly. "Just breathe. You're safe now." Maya closes her eyes, letting his words sink in. Her grip on Lily loosens just slightly. The baby shifts, tiny fingers curling around her mother's hand. I don't know where to go," she whispers, her voice breaking. Ethan turns to her fully, voice gentle but firm. "Then come with me, just for tonight. You'll be safe. I promise." She shakes her head, panic flashing in her eyes. "No, I can't. He'll find me." Ethan doesn't move closer. He keeps his tone steady, calm. "Not tonight. Not while I'm here. You and Lily won't be alone." Her shoulders slump. A single tear cuts through the rainwater on her cheek. She exhales shakily. "Okay," she murmurs. "Just for night." Ethan starts the engine. The car moves forward through the sheets of rain. Maya hugs Lily a little less tightly, her breathing evening out. For the first time since she fled, she feels a tiny thread of relief. Ethan glances at Lily, the baby's eyes half closed, safe in her mother's arms. He feels the weight of responsibility settle deep in his chest. The storm outside still pounds, but inside the car, a fragile sanctuary exists. For now, they are safe. For now, trust begins its quiet work. Ethan drives slowly, eyes on the blurred road ahead. Rain sheets across the windshield, turning the world into a silver smear. Maya hugs Lily tighter. Her fingers clutch the baby's blanket, knuckles white. Suddenly, a glare cuts through the storm. Headlights. Too close. Too fast. Maya stiffens. Breath catches. Her arms tighten around Lily. "That him?" Ethan asks quietly. She shakes her head, eyes wide, words failing her. Her silence is louder than the thunder outside. The car behind them swerves, tail lights disappearing down a side road. Maya's body relaxes slightly, but she doesn't let go of Lily. The storm pounds relentlessly, echoing the fear still lingering in her chest. "You're okay. You're safe with me. Nobody's going to touch you tonight," Ethan says softly. Her lips tremble, chin quivers. She leans back against the seat, trying to calm herself, to convince herself the danger has passed. Ethan glances in the rearview mirror, checking the empty road behind. The storm still rages, but the immediate threat is gone. Maya exhales, shuddering. Lily whimpers softly, sensing tension. "Just breathe, one step at a time. We'll get somewhere dry. Somewhere safe," Ethan says. She nods barely. "Please don't let him find us." "I won't. You're safe now. I promise," Ethan responds, jaw tight, feeling the weight of responsibility. The baby stirs, tiny fingers curling into Ethan's hand briefly. Maya glances at him, gratitude flickering through her fear. Rain pelts harder. Thunder rumbles across the sky. But inside the car, a fragile bubble of safety holds. Maya leans back, exhaustion and relief mingling. For the first time in hours, maybe days, she dares to let her shoulders relax. Just a little longer. "We'll make it," Ethan whispers to himself. The headlights are gone. The storm rages on. But the first thread of hope has been stitched into the night. The rain has slowed to a steady drum, but the night still presses against the car windows. Ethan pulls into a dimly lit gas station parking lot. The neon sign flickers above them, casting pale light across wet asphalt. Maya sits still, Lily in her arms, staring at the ground. Her hand shakes slightly. Ethan watches, patient, giving her space. I can't stay out there anymore," she whispers, voice barely audible over the storm. Ethan doesn't speak. He just nods, waiting. Finally, she exhales sharply, letting it all begin. "My house, it wasn't safe. He was always there, always watching. Every word, every step, every plan I made, he controlled it. I had to leave, but I couldn't take much. Just Lily, a few clothes, and my car." Her voice cracks. She pauses, blinking rapidly, staring into the wet night beyond the windshield. He threatened me, said I'd never get away, said if I tried, he'd find us before sunrise. That's why I ran tonight. The rain, I knew it would slow him down, at least for a little while. Ethan's chest tightens. He reaches over, placing a hand gently on hers. She flinches, then lets him stay. I don't even have a phone anymore. He smashed it. No way to call anyone. Shelters, they're full. I don't know. I didn't know where else to go, she continues, tears cutting through the streaks of rainwater on her cheeks. Lily stirs, whining softly. Maya hugs her tighter. Ethan waits, silent but steady, letting the storm outside echo the weight of her words. I thought maybe tonight would be the end, that he'd find us and I couldn't protect her, Maya whispers, voice breaking. Ethan swallows hard. Looking at her and the baby, he feels the gravity of the night settle deep in his chest. You're safe now, he says softly. No one's coming for you tonight. You don't have to run anymore. Her shoulders slump, finally allowing herself to relax just a fraction. Lily nuzzles against her, tiny breaths slow. Maya looks at Ethan, vulnerability mixed with a flicker of trust. I don't know how to thank you. Ethan shakes his head. You don't have to. Just let me help. That's enough. For the first time since she fled, Maya dares a shaky exhale, letting a sliver of hope enter the stormy night. The rain continues to fall outside, relentless but cleansing, washing the fear and danger from the road they've just traveled. Inside the car, a fragile sense of safety begins to take root. The rain slants harder now, drumming against the car roof like impatient fingers. Ethan sits for a moment, watching Maya hold Lily, her small body trembling with fear and exhaustion. He glances around the empty parking lot. No one is coming. The storm isn't letting up. Ethan takes a deep breath. Listen, he begins, voice steady but gentle. I called the shelters. No one can take you in tonight. Phones are down. Everything's full. But you don't have to stay out here in the rain. Not while I'm around. Maya's eyes widen. Her lips part, but no words come. I can give you a place to stay. Just for tonight. A warm bed, a door you can lock. Somewhere you and Lily can be safe, he continues. Her hands tighten around the baby, instinctively protective. I can't ask that of you. I barely know you. I don't have anything to offer, she whispers, voice raw. You're asking for safety for your baby, Ethan says firmly. That's all that matters. Nothing else. Maya shakes her head, panic flaring again. I can't. Ethan leans slightly closer, keeping his tone calm. You don't have to decide right now. Just think about it. You're exhausted. You've been running all day. Let me help, just for tonight. The baby stirs in Maya's arms. Lily's small hand reaches out, brushing Ethan's arm. Maya looks down at her, then back at him. A shiver runs through her, but she doesn't pull away. Finally, she nods barely. Okay, just for tonight, she murmurs. Ethan exhales, a small release of tension. That's all I ask. He starts the engine and pulls out a lot, the car cutting through sheets of rain. The storm is relentless, but inside the vehicle, there's a fragile bubble of safety. Maya holds Lily closer, but this time her grip is less panicked, more cautious relief. Ethan keeps glancing at them both, feeling a weight settle on him. Responsibility, yes, but also purpose. They drive in silence, the storm beating down around them. Outside, the world is wild and unforgiving. Inside, there is movement towards something steadier, something safe. For the first time in hours, maybe days, Maya allows herself to imagine a place where they can breathe, if only for a night. And Ethan knows deep down that tonight isn't just about shelter from rain. It's the first step towards something neither of them expected. Trust, hope, maybe even a new beginning. Ethan unlocks his front door, stepping inside with a wet and shivering Maya cradling Lily. The warmth of the house hits them immediately, a sharp contrast to the storm outside. Here, take off your jacket, he says, guiding her toward the hallway. Towels hang on the rack, warm from the dryer. He hands one to her and takes another for himself. Maya hesitates, staring at the modest two-bedroom home. Every surface, every light feels unfamiliar, yet safe. Lily squirms in her arms, tiny fingers clutching at Ethan's shirt. "You can sit here." Ethan gestures to the couch, pulling a soft blanket from the armrest. "I'll get you some dry clothes." She nods silently, unwrapping Lily to set her and the baby carrier Ethan offers. Lily snuggles against the warmth, eyes half closed. Ethan heads to the bedroom, gathering spare clothes and fresh blankets. "Here," he says, returning, laying them gently on a small futon pushed against the wall. "You can sleep here. The door locks. No one will disturb you tonight." Maya's eyes glisten, gratitude mingled with disbelief. You really mean that?" she whispers. "I do. I won't let anything happen to you or Lily tonight. You're safe here," Ethan says firmly, voice soft but unwavering. Maya sits on the edge of the futon, laying Lily down gently beside her. The baby shifts and curls into a blanket. Maya exhales, finally allowing her shoulders to relax, the tension from hours of running slowly leaving her body. Ethan moves toward the kitchen. "Do you want something warm to drink? Tea, maybe? Or just some water?" "Tea," Maya murmurs, her voice husky from the storm and fear. He sets the kettle on, water hissing and bubbling. The faint steam curls into the room, mingling with the scent of dry wood and soft blankets. Maya watches Ethan for a moment, then glances at Lily, who has finally drifted off. She lets herself lean back against a futon, tiny tears slipping down her cheeks. Not of fear this time, but relief. Ethan notices and gives her a small nod, understanding. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. The room is quiet, safe, alive with the unspoken promise of protection. Minutes pass. Outside, the storm thrashes against the windows, but inside, warmth and shelter prevail. For the first time in what feels like forever, Maya allows herself to imagine morning without fear, to imagine a place where she and Lily can breathe. Ethan places a steaming mug of tea in her hands. She takes it slowly, feeling the warmth seep into her frozen fingers. Their eyes meet briefly, and for a heartbeat, no words are needed, just the understanding that tonight, for the first time, the storm did not own them. Outside, the rain continues. Inside, a sanctuary is formed, fragile but real. And somewhere between the warmth of a house and the steady presence of Ethan, hope begins to take root. The morning after the storm, the rain has softened to a steady drizzle, the world outside gray and dripping. Ethan carries a cup of tea to the spare room, gently knocking before entering. "Morning," he says softly. "Breakfast is ready if you want it." Maya sits on the edge of the futon, her blonde hair plastered to her face, her baby resting against her chest. Beside her, a small duffel bag lies open. She's begun packing some of her few belongings, the motion hesitant, almost automatic. I thought I should keep moving," she admits quietly, her voice tight. "Just for tonight, like we agreed." Ethan kneels beside her, his eyes calm, steady. "Right, I know I said tonight, but where are you really going? Shelters are full, friends are gone, and this storm isn't letting up." Maya glances at him, uncertainty written across her face. "I can't stay here. I shouldn't. I don't want to be a burden." "You're not a burden," Ethan says gently. "You and her, you both deserve safety. Stay as long as you need. We'll figure everything else together. No pressure, just shelter, and maybe a little time to breathe." She hesitates, staring at the duffel bag, then slowly sets aside. Relief softens her expression. She lets herself exhale for the first time in what feels like forever. Days stretch into weeks. The house slowly begins to change, not physically, but in the energy it holds. Morning light finds Ethan in the kitchen, pancakes sizzling in the pan while Maya warms bottles at the counter, the baby nestled safely against her shoulder. Ethan folds laundry when Maya runs errands, not as a chore, but as a quiet way to be part of a new rhythm. They move around the house carefully, learning each other's habits, building trust in small, unremarkable ways that feel extraordinary. Afternoons bring small, tender routines. Ethan is often under the hood of Maya's car, baby strapped to his chest, tools scattered across the driveway. Maya laughs softly from the porch, rainwater dripping from her hair as she watches him struggle with stubborn latches and bolts. You always make it look so easy, she teases, eyes shining. Easy. Ethan grins, wiping grease from his hands. Try surviving a storm with a baby strapped to your chest. That's the real challenge. She laughs genuinely, a sound that blends with the soft patter of rain outside. For the first time, it feels safe to laugh. Evenings are quiet, intimate moments. They sit together on the porch, sharing tea, watching the baby sleep in her crib. Ethan shows Maya little tricks to soothe her, and she watches grateful, the weight of fear slowly lifting. Small gestures become habits, Maya leaving notes for him. Dinner's in the oven. She fell asleep 5 minutes ago. Reminders that this is no longer temporary. Ethan locks the doors, checks the windows, silently promising safety. Through the weeks, Maya's body language softens. She no longer flinches at loud sounds. Her movements are confident, her laugh freer. The baby begins to settle into a rhythm, smiling at Ethan and reaching for him without hesitation. One night, as they sit on the couch with the baby between them, Maya speaks softly. I never imagined a place like this could exist for me, she says. A place where I feel safe, where she feels safe. Ethan brushes a damp curl from her face. You earned it, he says. You trusted me enough to stay. You took the first step. Her hand finds his. It's more than that, she whispers. It's hope. For the first time in a long time, I think I can breathe again. They sit in silence, the soft rhythm of rain tapping against the windows. The house is no longer a refuge for one. It has become a sanctuary for all three of them. Routines develop. Morning coffee together, playful moments on the living room floor, bedtime stories that elicit giggles and quiet sighs. Nights bring quiet intimacy, hands brushing over the tea mug. Small smiles exchange across the room. Trust builds where pain once lived. Slowly, carefully, hope begins to bloom in tiny, ordinary moments that now feel extraordinary simply because they are shared. Even the weather seems to shift, the harsh storm replaced by gentle rain, a constant reminder of the night that changed everything. The temporary refuge has turned into something enduring, a home that holds them all, alive with small, tender moments of healing. Ethan smiles, watching Maya tuck the baby into crib, her eyes soft, relaxed. He realizes he's not empty anymore. Maya glances at him and smiles, the tension in her shoulders gone. They both feel it, the first glimmer of a life that's theirs to shape together. Evenings settle into a quiet rhythm. The rain has become a gentle companion, pattering softly against the windows, painting the world outside in streaks of silver. Inside, the house hums with warmth, life, and cautious peace. Ethan sits cross-legged on the living room floor, the baby nestled in his lap, cooing and reaching for his face. He makes ridiculous, exaggerated faces, and the tiny giggles that follow are music to his ears. Maya leans against the doorway, her arms crossed over her chest at first, watching him. But slowly, a smile creeps across her face, small, tender, and real. She wipes a tear from the corner of her eye. You're good with her, she says softly. Ethan shrugs, a small grin on his face. She likes me more than she likes adults sometimes. Maybe it's the silly noises. Maya laughs, a genuine laugh that echoes through the room, blending with the baby's tiny squeals. It feels alive, it feels safe. It's a sound she hasn't made in months, maybe even years. Lily wriggles, reaching for Maya. She kneels down, letting the little fingers grasp hers, and in that small act, a fragile trust is affirmed. Every tiny interaction, every gentle touch, every shared laugh is stitching together a bond that had once been impossible. Ethan watches her, seeing the change in her posture, the way her eyes no longer dart nervously to the door, the way she laughs at his jokes without hesitation. He feels it too, the slow thawing of walls he didn't realize he had built, not just around himself, but around his heart. Days pass like this. Shared meals, quiet chores done together, bedtime routines that are no longer mechanical, but warm with laughter and gentle teasing. Maya begins leaving little notes for him, reminders of things he forgets, little messages of appreciation. You didn't have to do that, he says one morning, holding up a cup of tea she left beside his bed. I wanted to, she replies, smiling softly. You've done so much for us, for me. I want you to know it matters. It matters more than either of them can say. Slowly, trust builds where pain once lived. Where fear and desperation had ruled, patience and care now take root. One rainy evening, Ethan and Maya find themselves alone on the porch. The baby sleeps inside, wrapped in blankets, the gentle rhythm of her breathing filling the house with calm. They sit close but not touching at first, watching the rain. I don't know when it happened, Ethan says quietly, but I've started looking forward to mornings, to this, to seeing you, to seeing her smile. Maya shifts slightly, her hand brushing against his without thinking. I didn't think I'd feel safe or happy. Not really. But this, she gestures toward the house, toward the warmth toward him. This feels different, real. Their eyes meet, and for the first time, neither needs to say it out loud. The trust, the connection, the fragile thread of hope, they both feel it. They talk late into the night, sharing pieces of their past, their fears, their small victories. No judgment, no pressure, just honesty and the tentative comfort of knowing someone will listen and understand. Ethan teaches her how to make the baby laugh with silly songs, and she teaches him to slow down, to notice small moments of joy. Laughter fills the house where silence once ruled. Every day is a small victory. Every shared smile, every quiet acknowledgement of presence, every gentle gesture builds a foundation stronger than either of them could have imagined on that first stormy night. The baby's tiny fingers reach for both of them at once, and they exchange a glance, realizing that together, they can create a life safe from fear, built on trust and patience. The rain falls outside, relentless and steady, but inside, the storm has softened. Where pain once lived, trust now grows. Where fear once ruled, hope begins to take root. And somewhere between the gentle raindrops and the quiet smiles, a fragile, undeniable truth begins to form. They are no longer strangers. They are a team, a small, imperfect, beautiful family in the making. Morning comes quietly, the sky a soft wash of gold and pale blue. The rain has stopped, leaving glistening streets and the fresh scent of wet earth. Sunlight spills across the porch where Ethan sits, coffee in hand, watching the world wake. Maya steps outside, baby in her arms. The little one yawns and stretches, hair damp from the night storm. She looks at Ethan and smiles, a slow, tentative smile that feels like a sunrise in itself. I didn't think I'd see a sky like this, she says softly, brushing a wet strand of hair from the baby's face. Ethan sets his coffee down, reaching out to touch her arm gently. Sometimes it takes a storm to appreciate the calm, he says. She leans into him, the baby nestled between them, and for a moment, everything else falls away. The fear, the uncertainty, the night spent wondering if safety would ever feel real. Now it does. The baby reaches for Ethan, grabbing his finger with tiny, strong hands. Ethan laughs, a low, easy sound, and the little one giggles in response. Maya watches them, a tear glinting in her eye. You don't have to leave, Ethan says quietly. Stay as long as you need, as long as you want. This is home now, yours too. Maya hesitates, glancing down the street. Imagine the life outside these walls, the uncertainty she once knew all too well. Then she meets his gaze, sees the sincerity in his eyes, the quiet promise in his voice. She exhales, a mixture of relief and newfound courage. Then we'll stay, she whispers. At least for now, until I can figure out what's next. Ethan smiles, a small, unguarded smile, and together they step fully onto the porch. Lily squirms in her arms, chattering softly, and Ethan reaches to lift her into the air, eliciting squeals of delight. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, the three of them feel safe, real, together. Maya tilts her head back, letting the sunlight warm her face. I didn't think I'd feel this peaceful, she admits. Not after everything. You deserve it, Ethan says simply, voice steady, heart full. You and her, both of you, and you're welcome here, always. Lily's laughter rings out, mingling with the chirping of birds and the gentle rustle of leaves. Ethan and Maya exchange a glance, one that doesn't need words. The storm has passed, and in its place is the quiet, golden clarity of trust, safety, and the beginnings of love. They sit together, watching the world brighten, feeling the weight of fear lift, replaced by possibility. For the first time, Ethan feels it too, the kind of peace that isn't just about being alone, but about having someone to come home to. Maya shifts slightly, resting her head against his shoulder, baby cradled between them. "I don't want to leave," she murmurs. "Then don't," Ethan replies, wrapping an arm around her. "Stay as long as you need. We'll figure the rest out together." The sky stretches wide above them, unbroken and soft. The first true calm after the storm. And as they sit there, three souls battered but unbroken, they begin to understand that sometimes the world offers a second chance in the quiet moments after the rain. A family, not yet fully formed, but already held together by trust, care, and the promise of what comes next. Weeks turn into months. The rain returns now and then, softer this time, more gentle than the storm that brought them together. The house that once echoed with emptiness is alive with small sounds, laughter, footsteps, the clatter of breakfast dishes, and the quiet hum of life being rebuilt. Maya carries the baby through the kitchen while humming a tune, and Ethan follows behind with a cup of coffee. Lily reaches for Ethan, squealing, and he scoops her into his arms. "Good morning, sunshine," he says, and she giggles, kicking tiny legs in delight. Maya leans against the doorway, watching them, a smile spreading across her face. "You're ridiculous," she says softly, but her eyes are full of warmth. They've found a rhythm. Mornings are spent getting the baby dressed, breakfast prepared, and everything ready for the day. Evenings are quieter, filled with bath time and stories read aloud. Every small routine carries the weight of safety and trust, a stark contrast to the chaos they once fled. One evening, Ethan sits at the table with Lily asleep in his arms. Maya sets down a plate of cookies she baked, chocolate chips melting into soft dough. "I didn't know we'd get here so fast," she says quietly, settling beside him. "Neither did I," Ethan admits, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "But I can't imagine going back to how it was. Not now." Maya nods, her head resting lightly on his shoulder. "Me neither. Days are not perfect. There are arguments over chores, worries about bills, moments when the past sneaks in. But those moments are smaller now, softened by laughter, shared responsibilities, and the knowledge that no one is facing anything alone." Lily crawls across the living room carpet, reaching for the cat, and Maya scoops her up, cradling her close. They are learning each other's rhythms, strengths, and fears. One rainy afternoon, Maya pauses at the window, watching the drops slide down the glass. "Remember that night?" she asks softly. "The one when I had nowhere to go." Ethan's hand finds hers, fingers intertwining. "I do," he says. "Every detail." "You saved us," she murmurs, eyes glistening. "More than you know." Ethan shakes his head. "You saved me too. You didn't just step into my car. You stepped into my life. And now we're here." She smiles, leaning closer, and he kisses her forehead. Lily coos, and the sound of rain begins to fall outside. Chaos and calm swirl together. But this time it's beautiful. Safe. Home. Nights are spent together on the porch, wrapped in blankets, watching the rain or the stars, talking quietly about hopes, fears, and the future. Sometimes they simply sit in silence, the sound of the wind in the trees and the soft breathing of their sleeping child. Months later, their bond is undeniable. Ethan and Maya move seamlessly between co-parenting and partnership, laughter spilling freely, worries shared and halved. Their child flourishes, confident, happy, and loved. The rain returns occasionally, but it is no longer a symbol of fear. It is a reminder of the night everything changed, the night a stranger's kindness became the foundation of a family. Ethan catches Maya's eye one morning as she stacks dishes in the kitchen. She smiles, the kind of smile that reaches her eyes. He leans close. "We did it," he says softly. "Yes," she whispers. "Together." Through small acts of care, quiet patience, and unwavering presence, they create a home where once there was only uncertainty. A family forged in the storm, healed in the calm, and strengthened by every shared moment. They are no longer strangers. They are a family, bound not by blood, but by choice, courage, and love. From that stormy night onward, every rainy day, Every sunlit morning, every ordinary moment becomes extraordinary simply because they face it together. A family born from rain, healed by trust, strengthened by hope, and forever bound by the night the world seemed to fall apart, only to bring them together. If this story touched your heart and reminded you the power of hope, kindness, and second chances, make sure to subscribe to Heartfelt Tales TV. More stories like this are waiting to inspire you, to remind you that even in the darkest storms, a little courage can change everything.